And also with the actual ganglion surgery, the ganglion was rather deep inside of my wrist. So the surgeon had to go in a lot deeper than for just merely cutting off the surface keloid. And also after the ganglion surgery, I basically had constant pain for the first 10 days to 2 weeks, and I could hardly move it. So I literally had it placed on a pillow or something. Already took diclofenac, which is a painkiller somewhat equivalent to codeine, I'd say. And it still hurt a lot, especially the first 2 weeks. Hence, I have a good feeling. I just need to make sure that the keloid is not going to return, because I do not want a keloid. And to do the whole thing in English again, basically it's been 24 hours since my keloid surgery now. Things are going somewhat reasonably well. I can already move the fingers freely and can sort of grab and hold light items. Well, in a very limited manner. Because as soon as there's sort of a weight and my wrist would have to do this sort of twisting motion, for example, when I'm holding a cup, the weight goes down here, so the wrist does like a twisting motion to counter the weight of the cup in terms of muscular activity. And that is something I cannot do at all. And generally, if I carry something and I carry it along the long arm, such as a bottle of water that I then hold like this, it's possible, but literally only if the arm is literally sort of pointing towards the ground. The surgeon who actually operated it was a surgeon whom I'd not seen before. Probably someone hired by the owner of that hand doctor practice. And he asked what had happened previously, and what sort of stitching technique had been used previously. And in response to that, I briefly explained that the previous surgeon had this special technique to make a really small scar, and that somehow hadn't worked, and that from previously having scrubbed off the keloid manually, I'd also seen that underneath there had been some layers sewn, that some layers stitched that were sort of messed up in terms of the skin. And when I said that, I then also mentioned that back in 2019, I had already clearly communicated to the operating surgeon that my priority is not the optical appearance of my wrist, but instead the functionality and the ability to actually, to first of all be pain-free, as well as to type, and especially to do sports and to be able to engage in sort of, manual activity. And in response to that, the operating surgeon then directly defended the surgeon who'd operated it in 2019 and said like, oh, I'm sure the surgeon back then just wanted to do you something good, wanted to do you a favor. And that, against standard projection. That operating surgeon there possibly thinks like, oh, what would have been my motives to do that? Or is essentially automatically idealizes the former surgeon. And pissed me off. And to that I then also directly replied, hey, I'm not a woman who wants to necessarily look pretty on the outside. My main priority is the functionality of my body. The ability to do sports, the ability to do tasks, and the ability to move freely. And to that then he didn't say anything. And hopefully he then also realized that even back then I'd already communicated that to the surgeon who'd operated in 19. Also, in general, compared to the ganglion surgery from 2019, so the ganglion was really deep inside my wrist, and back then a relatively deep cut had to be made for the surgeon to actually go into there and to somehow get the ganglion outside of my wrist. and to, sustainably remove it, because that's another risk. Ganglions can come back if they are not removed perfectly thoroughly. And somehow I now got the urge to immediately point out that the surgeon in 2019 must have done something right, and to again idealize him, and why? But yeah, basically it seems to be, healing up well, and this time, yeah, healing process is a lot quicker. There isn't as much damage that has been done, but I'm literally at the point where 2019 I was after 1 or 2 weeks past the surgery, and now it's a day past the surgery. So I'm hoping it'll be fully healed up relatively soon. I'm relatively optimistic. And yeah, what else? I'm not taking any painkillers. I had next to zero pain after the surgery. Sort of, it does sort of burn along here, especially when I sort of accidentally sort of move it against something, or when I sort of lie down and awkwardly have to find a place to put my wrist. But all in all, yeah, it's better than I thought it'd be. Also, did I pick the cast color myself? No, I did not. Though if I now was to wear a black top instead, I would literally be a German flag. Like, so sort of yellow does kind of suit me, though my usual colors would be red or blue, or